Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me here on the Life is Short and So Am I podcast. My name is Satina, I am your host, and today I am sharing an episode with you that I did with my friend Julie. She is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt. She's also a mom, and she is also the co-founder of a company with her husband. So this woman is busy, she has a lot of stories to tell, and we had a lot of fun just deep diving into jiu-jitsu and women's issues and things like that. So it is definitely packed full of a lot of laughs and some really good topics that I think are important to dive into. So I'm really excited for you to listen to it and to watch it. So if you could also leave a comment below and subscribe to my YouTube channel and also give us a thumbs up, that'd be amazing. It really does help me out a lot as I'm trying to grow. So thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Julie. How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for agreeing to come on my little podcast
Of
with me.
course. I am so excited for you. I love podcasting, and I think it's a way to really show your personality in a really fun way.
Yes. It's interesting because I thought about it and I was like, huh, it's like FaceTime. Like this is like FaceTime, it's just recorded and there's no
Yeah,
distractions. I'm like, okay, I like
yeah.
this.
It's like an excuse to put up your phone and have a conversation. It's nice.
I know, which is not a thing these days.
No,
I feel like.
I
Um,
uh, I usually have to record podcasts about energy, so I'm very excited to not
oh,
talk about that.
you're like, oh, thank God, something different.
Yeah.
Well, I've already shown you the questions, of course, but I'm excited to share them with you and see what your answers are and all of that. For
I'll
anyone who
be
is, yeah, go
completely
ahead.
honest.
Yes,
The questions, I didn't even think about them. So you're going to be kidding completely, unfiltered, Julie thinking and all of that.
that is what I want.
Okay,
I
good.
always, what I've been doing is like sending my questions and making sure that if there's a question that someone doesn't want to talk about, okay, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to take it out. And then most of the time though, the people that I've had on are like, yeah, I looked at the questions for about 10 seconds. It's
Yeah.
like, great.
I was
That's what I
listening to
want.
Mary's episode this morning. It was really good.
Oh my gosh, that was such a fun episode. It was my first one, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
That's for
loved
sure.
it.
Yes. And Mary's good. I was like, Mary, have you done this before? She goes, I've done a few. It's like,
Yeah, she's
yeah,
very good at being a professional.
yes. I'm like, wow, can I be you when I grow up?
I know. I tell her that all the time.
Same. So, if you are new, welcome to Life is Short and So Am I. I am your host, Satina, and I have my friend Julie, and we are going to be talking about all things jujitsu and her company, and whether she's from Texas or not. If you can't tell by her accent, I'd be very confused.
Do
If
I
you
have
do,
an accent? Some
yes,
I got super offended a few weeks ago because
no,
someone told me that I didn't sound like I was from West Texas. And I was like, I'm a true
no,
West Texan. Like, don't tell me that.
what? That's insulting.
I know.
No, you have I can't even replicate it. Like that's the kind of see, I'm from the Northeast, so I guess maybe I can pick it out even more so because I'm not from Texas.
Yeah.
And so, but you have the little bit of a twang, like drawl. I'm like, it's adorable.
Do you say y'all?
I do.
Did you used to?
I've always said y'all
You have. Okay.
because the people who say you all, I'm like,
It's too long.
what are you saying? Like you all. That doesn't sound natural to me
Yeah, not at
at
all.
all.
No.
Oh gosh, people are crazy. Okay, so I wrote the questions down, but I don't even remember my own questions. So I'm going to look at them. I already asked this one. How you doing? How's life? All
Life
that.
is very overwhelming right now, but
Yeah.
good, good.
It's,
I feel
yeah.
like you always hit a wall of overwhelm before you break through something
Yeah.
new. So that's where I
Yeah.
feel like I'm right now.
I feel like a lot of people can probably relate to that. I
Yeah.
am, so like for myself, I'm newly unemployed. So
Yeah.
fun. Yay! I know. I'm like, I was at this one job for like a year and a half, and then I ended up, the funding for it actually fell through. So my position was second to get cut because there was another position that got cut before me. But
Yeah. Wow.
so yeah, I've just been living life, making my podcast, applying to jobs,
Love it.
and so here I am.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway,
Good. I think good will come for sure.
I
Especially
think
with
it
you
will.
out there with a podcast, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, okay, maybe people will like it.
Yes.
Like it. Please. Please. No, I'm just kidding.
It helps Tina
Yes.
job.
So Dina needs a job so she doesn't end up under a bridge, okay? No, I'm fine. I'm not even close to that. But anyway, so I always like to ask like just a random question to all of my guests. I say all of them as if I've had a million. I've had like two. You're the third. So what did you eat for breakfast today?
So
Do you
I
believe in
actually
breakfast?
had well, sometimes like it's
I
always
get
up
that.
in the air whether I feel like it or
Yes.
not. I used to fast and now I sometimes do, but I had
Mm-hmm.
my kids leftover pancakes at
Oh,
like 10:30. So they left for school at like 7 or 8 and I ate them at 8 at 10:30.
that is mom life.
Yes. So it's like kind of breakfast, but kind of
It
not.
just wasn't yours at first. Is this a normal thing?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't like food to go to waste.
Okay, see? There you go. You're doing something about it. All that food waste, you're doing something about it.
Exactly.
I feel like I don't have kids, clearly. But do kids a lot of times just eat a little bit and then they're just like done with it?
Hmm.
Okay. So it's like a very normal thing. No
Very
one
normal.
actually.
Yeah. They're a
Yeah.
little bit older now, so they eat more.
Oh,
So
good.
I have to have my own food now, but yeah.
Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. You have to have your own food and there's probably a higher grocery bill. Ah, it is what it is.
Yep. They don't even get me started on the grocery bill.
Oh,
Good.
okay. My husband could eat, like, I'm pretty sure we spend, like, I'm not kidding you, like $300 a week in
For two of
groceries
them. Yeah.
just for two people, but he eats like probably 75% of it.
Yeah.
It's
I
insane.
believe it. He's a large man.
Yes, he is. Like, where does it all go? I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. But if he can eat that much, I can't imagine a house full of like preteens eating a bunch of food.
Yeah.
And your
It's
husband.
yes, yes, it's a lot, but
It's fine.
yeah, it
That's fine.
sucks, but it's okay.
But I mean, okay. But then there's jujitsu, so that makes it even more so because y'all are like a jujitsu family, which I want to talk about that. By the way, I want to talk
Yeah,
about how you got into jujitsu. You're a freaking brown belt now
I
with
am.
that. Like,
Um,
does it feel real? Is it crazy?
yes.
Yeah.
It's like I always make this comparison. It's like growing up. Like when you're like, mid-20s and you're like, what am I doing with my life? I'm supposed to know more and do more and everything. And
Yes.
you you figure out that no one has it like all figured out. And that's what I'm at in jujitsu. I'm like, okay, I'm a brown belt, but it does not feel like it. But eventually I know it will.
Yes, it's like one of those things where you're just gonna like feel like, okay, yeah, I grew into it. Like I am a brown belt. And then bam, you'll be a black belt. And you're like, what?
What happened?
What happened? Where did the time go?
It's crazy. Time flies for sure.
Like, how long have you been doing jujitsu for?
Like right at 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, it's been a minute.
it's been a minute. Yeah.
Dang. What got you into it?
My husband. So he had
Oh,
tried convincing me to do it, and I was like, no. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, no, I don't even know what that is. I'm not doing it. I was probably like, oh, it's like karate. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, no, no. Sorry to anyone who likes karate.
I know. I know. And then, so I don't know. He kept trying to convince me, kept trying to convince me, and I'm like, eh. And so he ended up starting and taking my oldest son at the time, who was 4, and they went in, I want to say May of 2016. And I only know this because I had just had a baby. So I was like 1 month post, like having my third baby. And yeah, so I sat on the sidelines for 5 months before I was like, okay, I want to do it.
It's a
And
long time.
I know. So I finally started in October. And the only reason I did that, I like got the courage to step on the mat, was because I got another mom with me who was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll start it with you. If I wouldn't have had her, I don't think I would have started. It was very, very intimidating, especially at the gym I was at. There weren't any women at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I believe it. And now there's a ton.
I'm never like the only woman in class now, and I love that so much.
Yes.
It's
Oh
amazing.
man. Yeah. Because like I know the first time I stepped into a jiu-jitsu gym, I had no idea what it was. I thought I was going there for something else. I was like, oh yeah, one of my friends was like, oh, you should go check out this gym. And I was like, oh, okay. I was thinking like a strength training gym sort of
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go like this boot camp or something. No, I went there and I was like, everyone is rolling around on the floor. What is
It's
going on?
sweaty.
And it was a bunch of dudes. Like it was like I think it was just me. I think I was the only girl there because my friend didn't show up.
Oh no.
And I just watched it and I was like,
You're
I
braver
don't.
than I am.
It was terrifying. Well, I was like, well, that's embarrassing. The coach already looked me in the eye and saw me come in. And
Couldn't
I
turn
was like,
around and run.
no, because I was like, oh, this is a small town. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, I will just go to the grocery store and someone's gonna be like, oh, you were at the gym. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, you're the girl that ran away.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
That's
terrifying.
funny. Yeah, it is. It's very terrifying. But it's always like that's the hardest step, is just like starting.
Yeah,
And then it's just like
starting.
you're
Mhm.
addicted and it's so fun.
Yes. And then what about like competitions? I feel like that adds like another whole layer because I know for myself, when I do competitions, I psych myself out in my head. And
Yeah.
like I haven't done horrible in competitions. Like I've won a couple of times, but like it's still terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. My first competition was, I think it was March or April after I'd started. So I started in October, and then March or April I was competing. Had no business competing. I was only training like 2 days a week at that time because I had 3 kids under 4. Like I
That's
couldn't get
crazy.
to training. Um I completely freaked out. I did not know what to expect. I didn't know what an adrenaline dump was. I had no idea any of that happened. I was at a gym where they didn't really compete. It wasn't really like talked about. So it wasn't like I had anyone like giving me advice. Here's what to expect. Everything like that. I swear I had a panic attack. I was so like, to this day, I think about how I reacted after that match, and I'm like, "Oh my," like, it's so embarrassing.
I
I
feel like
Colin
happens.
still makes fun of me to this day about it. I'm like, "I know, I," it's like the adrenaline got the better of me, and I just, like, was freaked out, and I was like, I need food," and I was like, it felt like I was about to pass out, and
Oh my gosh.
it was just a mess. So
Yeah.
after that, I was like determined to get better at competing, because in the gym, I did a lot better than that. And it was like I stepped on that competition mat and forgot everything.
No, I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very common. And it's something that you just have to like work through, which is really hard. So, all through Blue Belt, that was like my goal. Every single competition, I was like, my only goal is to bring what I do into the gym to the competition mats.
Mhm.
And if I was able to do that and still lost, I was fine. Because I hit my goal. Like I'm just trying to beat myself here. I'm just trying to get rid of my anxiety, and
Yeah.
control my adrenaline. That was the biggest thing. So
Wow.
it took probably up until purple belt, so 4 or 5 years,
Wow.
before I finally like now I can go and compete. And I still get nervous, but I don't like it doesn't take over my whole body to
Mm,
where I'm just like, the pump in your forearms,
yes.
like
Yep.
like I don't
Yes.
feel that anymore.
You look like pretty calm each time I've seen you. I'm like, I don't know how, and I don't know if you're as calm on the inside, but on the outside, you look pretty like chill.
I
I'm like,
I
okay.
I very much try to like I'm like, this is no big deal. This is like any other
Yeah.
day. I talk it down in my head.
Yeah.
And for me, it's such a fun hobby. I
Mm-hmm.
never want to put any stress on it. So, like,
Mm.
when I meet women who are like super into it and they're like trying to become a champion, and like, I want to be a champion too, but I'm not gonna like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just be so serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
because I think you put too much pressure on yourself and your game closes off. You're not able to take risk and have fun and like
Mm-hmm.
doing jujitsu.
You're like,
um, so yeah, I like to not put pressure on myself. So how I appear is definitely how I try to feel on the inside.
yeah.
I smile all the time, which is ridiculous, but it's like
You smile when you roll.
it's like a coping
You do.
mechanism. I
I do
don't
too,
know.
though. I don't know. Whenever I roll with people, I'm smiling, even if they're beating me to the ground. I'm like, this is great.
I know it's so
Like
fun.
I'm genuinely having fun.
Yeah, and sometimes you just smile because, like, you did something that was so stupid, and you're like,
Yes.
"Why would I do that?"
Why did I do that? I know I'm not supposed to do that.
Yep, yep.
You know, one piece of advice I think you had put on your story, or you and I were messaging back and forth, I don't remember which, was that when you are doing competitions, sometimes you'll like go over and actually like talk to your opponent, and
Yeah,
it like humanizes them.
yes.
Girl, I did that. And I won double gold because I did it.
Yes. I love it.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what Julie did and see if
It's,
it
like,
works. It totally
mentally
worked.
dominating in the, like, nicest way.
Yes. Yes. I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I went over, said hi to my opponent. We started like chatting and having a great conversation, and then it was time to fight. And I was like, you're going
And
down.
it's fun, it, like, lowers the barriers for both of you
Yes.
to where you can actually
Yes.
do your jujitsu,
And
and you
have
don't
fun.
feel that those knots in your stomach and your, like, legs wobbly.
Oh my gosh. And like my heavy breathing, and I just
Yes.
like it's like my whole body gets tense, and I'm like, this is not healthy.
This is not fun. I don't want my body to shut down on me. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. And some girls, like, they won't talk to you at all.
Oh yeah, no.
And
No.
like that's
I've
always
gotten
great. And then
am I
I
awkward.
like overcompensate my words because I feel awkward. So then I just keep talking. And
I did the same thing.
I'm like, why am I like this? But I just don't know.
Yeah. It's
It's fun
good.
and
Yeah.
I wanna make friends.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is like I notice like going against women is different than going against men. I think sometimes us women feel like because it's such a male dominated sport, we feel like, oh, we need to overcompensate and like we need to beat every girl to the ground. Even though like you don't have to do that. It's just I think there is that like un uh this pressure that people don't talk about necessarily. And
For sure.
so,
I always say that. I feel like women's
yeah.
egos are a lot bigger than men's. And I
Yes.
don't know if that's an unpopular take, but
Nope. I
I
agree with
know it
you.
is for sure. Like, I know with my roles, I'm, like, dreading the one like, not dreading, but I know they're gonna be so much harder with the women and, like,
Yes.
push me to be better. And
Exactly.
the men, obviously, you get that too, but it's,
Yeah. It's
a
different.
lot different. A
Yeah.
lot different.
Yeah. It's quite a bit different. And like honestly, I learn a lot when I roll with women. I feel like I and like women's bodies move differently than men's bodies. Like
Mhm.
there's all of that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess we're a little obsessed.
I know, I'm like, "How long can I talk about this?" 'Cause probably forever.
We've talked like 20 minutes.
So, just about jujitsu. All right, so come try
Anyway,
jujitsu.
yeah, go train jujitsu. It's a lot of fun. I also, not to keep going, but like one other thing, I feel like jujitsu is a good metaphor for life as well. Like when you're like conquering your fears when you're doing it, you're doing things, you're going and doing things that are like uncomfortable. You're making new friends, so
Yeah,
social
you
aspect to it as well. I
you're
don't know.
pushing yourself to do something hard every single day, and that
Yes,
it
that takes
does
a lot.
something for your mental resiliency. Like
Yes.
for sure, you're going to be mentally tougher than most people.
Oh, yeah. Like I'm a white belt and I feel that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, jujitsu, yes, we could talk about it all day. But I'll go on to my world known question 4. 20 minutes later, question 4. So we kind of talked about it a little bit that you are a native to Texas. So are you from Now, I don't think I even know this. Are you from Houston or from somewhere else? Or
I'm not
what
from
brought you here?
Houston. I'm from Midland, Texas, so that's out west.
Okay.
Just straight oil fields there. So I was raised in the desert.
Oh, you were raised in the desert. What about
Desert, tumbleweeds, everything. No trees.
Were you near any ghost towns? No, that's all I
I
can
think
picture in my head. It's like,
honestly, yeah, probably. Like there's a bunch of little towns out there
oh
that
dang,
I don't know. I've never like I don't.
no.
There's a
But you,
bunch of little towns out there. Yeah.
yeah. So you grew up there, and then what got you to Houston? I feel like that's so
So
far.
yeah, we moved to we as in me and my husband. So Colin and I got married very young. So we moved from Midland back in 2012.
Oh, okay.
And we went to Victoria, which is like
I know where that
Midland,
is.
the East Tech East. Yeah, it's like
Yes,
South South
south.
Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
south of
We
Houston.
lived there for 6 months and then he got a job here in Houston. And we've been here
Oh,
since. And I
wow.
will never leave. I love Houston.
Houston is fantastic.
I love it so much.
There's a lot to do. You've got like the best restaurants. Like, I don't think I am being biased when I say that. We have
No,
the best
it's food.
food.
Yeah.
Like, you could literally think of a place on the globe that you want to get food from. I'm sure it's here
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
I.
awesome. And there's so much diversity. So where I grew up
Mhm.
is when you think of like typical Texas, like I feel like you picture West Texas in your head, like just
Yes.
cowboys and whatever,
Yes.
oil fields, like
Mhm.
cows. That's where I grew up. And I don't know why I said cows. It's like an
I don't
actual
know.
I felt like I didn't like walk cows or anything.
I was like, oh wow, did she like muck the stalls? Okay, a true life cowgirl.
don't know why I said that. That's not like I'm giving this impression of like super hillbilly country. It's not
Really
bad, but
stereotypical.
I mean, to give you some reference, whenever I was in high school, I was like, I'm gonna marry a bull rider. So like it was country.
That is country.
I forgot where I was going with that story.
I don't know, but it sounded really intriguing. So you're from Midland, which is out in the, it sounds like the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
basically. And
yeah.
then you moved to Victoria for like 6 months and then you came to Houston.
Oh, diversity.
Okay.
Where
See,
I
I
grew
helped
up.
you.
Yes. Where I grew up, it was not diverse at all. You're like same
Yeah.
people, like y'all dress the same, y'all look the same
Oh,
jobs,
dang.
same religion, same. So I
Yeah.
feel like I grew up in a very like a box.
Yeah.
Um, and here in Houston, we have neighbors like all of my kids' friends were traveling to other countries to see their family this summer. Like
That's
they're
so cool.
all diverse. And one of my son's like best friends is Chinese and he's like learning Chinese from our neighbor, which is so
That's
cool.
so cool.
It
I
is.
want to learn.
I know. He said a word and he's like, that means, I don't know, like I'm hungry. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I go,
You're like, I don't blame you.
and it really did. I'm like, oh my gosh. He was like 6 at the time. It was,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I love Houston for the diversity. I love
Yeah.
getting to be around other cultures, other just anything. Like it's cool.
Everything is, yeah.
No one's the
That's
same as you.
which I really like that too, because like I came from a place all the way up in Vermont. Yeehaw!
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that, but Vermont
Your
is
cows too.
yes, like Cabot cheese. That's in Vermont. But no, Vermont was the same way. I grew up in a really small town. Their population, I don't know, less than 100,000. That's all I know, and it was not diverse at all. If you wanted to go and get like diversity of like different cultures and different people, you'd have to go to Hanover, which was in New Hampshire, which is like 10 minutes away, and it
Yeah.
was near Dartmouth College, and that was the only reason that it was diverse. And so I got sick of the winters. I was so sick of them. And I was like, I'm leaving.
I cannot handle cold at all.
I
I
can't do it. I can't. Like, no. And like Vermont is so close to Canada. So like you can just imagine how cold it is. Like
yeah.
my family lives like 3 hours away from the border of Canada. And so it got
Wow.
to like, it would get to like -20. It's like normal.
Oh my gosh. I would
If you go
legit
outside,
no.
like the nose hairs, like in your nose, would be frozen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't. I don't even know what that feels like. Like I
You
do
don't
not
want
want to
to.
go in cold. That's why
You don't want
I love Houston weather, which
to.
is no one says that. I love summers here. I'm like a lizard. I will sit outside all day long and just like burn. My skin's probably going to be like disgusting when I'm older with all the sunspots, but I love the sunshine so much.
When you're like 70, I'll be like, oh, there's
And be leathery.
you'll still be sitting outside in
I
100-degree
know that
weather.
the sun. Yes, I love the sunshine. It makes me happy.
But you know what? It's vitamin D. So there's that. And that's always good for the soul. So, but
Exactly.
I will say the heat is a lot. It like this is hotter than so I've only been here for this is my third summer here.
Okay.
And I think this is the hottest that it's been for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know,
It's
is it?
I mean, it'll I don't even know.
Yeah, I
It's
know at this
it's hot.
point.
I enjoy it though. Like
Yeah, you love
I
it.
the only thing that I don't like is like in the mornings when it's sticky. Like it's like so humid that the air is thick and it's sticky and the sun isn't shining on you. I
You're
don't
like, if
like
there's no sun, goodbye.
that. Yeah.
I'm
But
just
I love working outside in like 4 p.m. in the summertime because it just I sweat so
yeah.
much. I'm like, I'm working so hard and I really don't have to.
You're like, who needs to go to the gym? Just go
Exactly.
outside. Literally go outside for 2 seconds and you will sweat all those calories out.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. My next question. Question number 5. Also, you're so easy to talk to. My gosh.
Good for you.
You're making this podcast just easy. Oh, I love it. Okay, so question number 5 I have here. Can you share about like a moment or the moment that kind of like changed your life in like either a positive or a negative light and like how did you handle it? Like handle that situation or that moment?
I think that's a hard question. It's hard to know like when your life changed
Yeah.
forever.
Mhm.
I will say I looking back at like my childhood and what I went through and what I saw my sisters go through. So my sisters were both addicted to meth. And I saw that around me. I just saw drug addicts everywhere. I think that really like left an impression on me to where like I'm like I do not ever want to live like that. And it definitely changed like how my life turned out compared to my sister's, which is I don't know, weird to say, especially like out loud, but seeing struggle, like it really just changed me. And I will say the other thing is probably getting pregnant so young. Um,
Yeah.
I had to grow up really, really fast, and I feel like that shaped my entire life. Like what I do now, what I
Mhm.
am, like everything I am is because I got pregnant so young. I didn't really get a chance to have like self discovery and all of that in my 20s. So yeah, I don't, that's a hard question,
It's a
but
hard one.
I think, yeah, a lot of like, I think like seeing my sisters go through that's given me a lot of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I love people, and I'm always drawn especially to hurt people or people who are just like struggling in life. I don't know what it is, but um I definitely always gravitate towards them, maybe because I just want to help. Uh
Yeah, because you care about people.
yeah, yeah. But and it's like every struggle you go through or watch people you love go through, it gives you a sense of empathy that you didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really made me who I am, is that plus other things in my childhood. But yeah,
But
those
that's
two combined
big. That
are
makes
usually
sense. Or you're like, that is me.
that's me. Hello.
And like you are like one of those people that I definitely look up to, and I'm like, you're successful, you're kind, you are a mom of what, 3 kids, and you're so young. But you know what that means? That means that like you and Colin, when your kids grow up, you'll be like
Ye-
45
Yep.
and can go, I don't know, retire on the beach.
I'm I'm counting down the days to that. I'm 43 when my youngest is 18.
Oh
40.
my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be like the hot, cool grandma.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, that's wild. It's wild
That
to think that
is
that's only
crazy.
10 years away,
That's crazy.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh
You,
no.
you look like you're having like a oh my gosh moment.
You know, it goes by so fast. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Like being a parent so young and having to
Mhm.
build while they're young, and they don't
Mhm.
understand why we can't like go on vacations and do all the
Right.
things, and like
Right.
we're building a business. It's hard because they don't get all the attention, but
Yeah, that's right. Which
and it
kind
goes
of
very
is,
fast. Yeah.
it goes by super fast. But here you are. And also, you were building a business. How old were you when you started that? Were you pregnant when you started that? Or like,
Oh,
because that's,
so gosh, I started working. Let's see, when did I? The timeline is so like messed up
discombobulated
in
at this
my
point.
head. I
Yeah.
was honestly trying to survive for so long that I'm like, it just like is a blur. But
Yeah.
no, I had when I had my third. So for the first two, I stayed at home and we
Mhm.
homeschooled. We did all the things. We were
Oh
in
my
mom.
gosh.
We
Okay.
were like
Yeah.
super into being a mom. Um,
Yes.
and then I had my third, and it
Mhm.
was like I kind of went through a like self-identity crisis where I'm like,
Mm.
who am I? What am I doing with my life? And honestly, it was very like ego driven.
Mm.
Looking back, I'm like, it was a little self-centered and egotistical. I'm like, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it. I feel like I
Yeah.
just didn't know how to cope with everything I was
Yeah. You were
feeling.
young.
Yeah.
Super young at that
So
point. You were
yeah,
also growing up.
exactly. I was
You
what,
were literally,
5? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
So
my age. I'm literally still growing up.
yeah, I was 25 when I had my. Actually, I just turned 25. A month later, I had him. Um, and I guess then a year later in 2017. So in this time, Colin is working in the oil field. He's traveling a lot. Like I'm by myself
Mhm.
raising the kids
Wow,
24/7. He's gone for months at a time, coming
it's
back,
crazy.
leaving. Yeah, so it was very much like just me figuring it out.
Yeah.
Um, and he's an entrepreneur at heart. Like he's always known he's gonna be successful in building businesses, and it like killed him every time he got called out. You could just see like the defeat in his face. He just like he did not want to have a job anymore. Like he wanted to
Yeah.
go build, because when
Yeah.
he would come home he would start working on like side things.
Mhm.
um So I think it was in 2017 in January. I was like, just quit your job. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but just quit your job because I'm
Right.
tired of like, seeing you just go
Yeah.
like go through like depression
I was gonna
every
say, it's like depression.
yeah. And so we had nothing saved up. I didn't have a job, not really any plan. I just knew that I trusted him to figure it
Mhm.
out. And he quit. And then the next day, I also was a big believer in manifesting at that time.
I
Now
am.
I don't know if I'm as woo woo as I used to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
I do believe in intention and, you know,
Yeah.
y- the way that you can make things happen. Uh,
Yes. Put in the work, you can make it happen.
yeah. So anyway, he quit his job. The next
Mhm.
day, I got offered a position as a community manager and like a virtual assistant. Like it was all virtual because I was still homeschooling my kids at this time,
Yeah.
and I had a baby that I was breastfeeding. So I had to stay home,
Mhm.
and I got offered like 3 jobs working from home. And this was back in 2017
Crazy.
where it wasn't like as like now it's very common to find work from home.
Yeah.
This
But it
wasn't.
was not back
Yeah,
then. That was before the pandemic.
yeah, it was
Wow.
not really heard of. Like you had to really like dig to find one.
Mhm.
Um, so that pay almost was exactly what his paycheck was. So like
That's
within a day
crazy.
of him quitting his job, I replaced his pay and he was able to like focus on building whatever like
Okay.
it's pivoted a lot from what he was building then to what we're
Yeah.
building now.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it was wild. I was like, holy crap, like all we got to do is like take those risks. And
Yeah.
both of us are like so not like we're risk takers. Like we don't have like we will not we're not scared of risk at all.
Mm.
So that's sometimes good and sometimes bad. I think it's
Yes.
definitely where you're definitely always on a roller coaster because of that.
Mhm.
Um, usually in a relationship, I feel like you have one constant, but we're both,
You're both like this.
yeah, just taking all the risk,
Like, oh
going
no,
up and
shit.
down. Yeah, yeah. Um, no, so then the journey winds, and in 2000, I guess 18, the end of 2018 is whenever we started Wildcatters.
Oh
Um,
dang.
back
Okay.
then, it was just a podcast, and then
Really?
it was Oil and Gas Startups podcast with Colin and Jake. Um, and I at the time I was helping them, but I was
Mhm.
also had all these other jobs on the side. So I
Mm.
ever since I he quit his job, I've had 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs at a time. I was a virtual
Wow.
assistant before I knew what a virtual assistant was, but I was doing
Yeah.
like marketing and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, I burnt out very quickly though because it was a lot, like trying to
Yeah.
homeschool, trying to like
Keep
I
up with
wrote
all of that.
I wrote this LinkedIn post where I was like, um, I'm gonna prove to myself that you could do it all and like it, again, full of ego, just like I'm gonna be the one who does it all. I can homeschool, I can work
Yeah.
whatever jobs, I
Mhm.
can be a housewife, like all
Oh
these things. And
gosh.
I burnt myself out and I was just like,
Yeah.
kids, y'all are going to school.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do I don't know what. But
Wow.
anyway, that's kind of like the journey.
Mhm.
Then Wildcatters, I went full time with Wildcatters in 2021, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Wow.
end of 2021.
That's crazy. Like I think you kind of touched on an interesting point that like I think women, I think a lot of times feel like they have to do everything. You have to be a good leader. You have to do this. You have to do all these things in order for you to be, I don't know what, successful, I guess. But like, I don't think you have to be. You
Mm-mm.
don't. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. If it's too
Whatever you
much,
want. Yeah,
exactly. Like,
yeah.
don't stress yourself out. It's not worth it.
No, and it's like, who are you doing that for? Are you doing that to
Yeah.
impress society? Like it's all
Yep.
driven by our egos. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I posted this when I went and saw the Barbie movie with my daughter, and they go on this rant that's a very common rant. Like
Mm-hmm.
women are expected to be like skinny, but not too skinny, and blah blah
Mm.
blah. Like just like all the
Like the
things that are
this
expected. And I'm
yeah.
like, I am so tired of hearing that rant over and over and over, especially when
Mm.
women are doing it to yourselves. Like we're doing it to
Mm-hmm.
ourselves.
And to
Society,
each other, I feel like too.
yeah,
It happens.
it's all
Mm-hmm.
driven by women. And I
Mm.
think the more that women like hone in on it, it
Yeah.
makes it worse.
Mm-hmm. The more that you give it attention, the more that you
Yeah.
are like, yeah, society is telling me to do
And
that.
the reason I say that is there was this thing, this is such a random example,
Okay.
but there was this post on Instagram.
Mhm.
It was this girl talking about her hip dips. And I'm like, what are hip dips?
What are those? No, I genuinely don't know what they are.
Now I'm going to do this to you. I'm like, what? So, anyways, they're like, I don't know. They're like in your hips, they're little dips. I don't know. I don't get it. But
Oh, okay.
complaining about like you have to get I don't know if it was a post like saying like I'm owning my hip dips, like these are
Right.
what I have, like
As you
whatever.
should. Whatever those are. I still don't know what they are, but I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Because I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And if she
Yeah.
was like bringing awareness to it,
Right.
I
But
would have never even like seen that on
mhm,
anybody. And now I see them and I'm like, how many times do we do that? Like bring things up
mhm.
that are really like a non-issue, but then everybody's like thinking
Oh, this
about it.
is an issue. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
oh, this is a problem. Wait. Because of
yeah.
that one post that you saw from this random
And
person
they're like,
was
oh yeah.
like, ugh. I don't know what I
So
think of that.
that's how I kind of feel about like the whole yeah, like women trying to be and do everything.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
take a big look at like your ego and what's driving that because
Yeah.
it is you just trying to prove to everyone else and you wanting
Mhm.
praise that you can
Yeah.
do it all and be it all and
And you can't for
you
one.
you
And
can't
like
and you don't need to live for anybody else. You don't need to live
mm-mm.
for
You need
praise
to
or live
mm-mm.
for whatever.
You don't need to
So,
live for like the Instagram likes or the I don't know, society telling you to
yeah.
be this way or do that. I mean, yeah, interesting. It's almost like there was a movie that's coming out, a new take on Snow White. I have so many opinions on it, but it's okay. So it's like this one actress is the lead, and like she was doing some interviews or on the red carpet about it, and she was like, Snow White is not going to be dreaming about true love. She's going to be a leader and she's going to be powerful, like, and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you can't have true love and be powerful leader? What?
Yeah.
Like it's interesting, I guess. And I see that narrative kind of going
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's actually really sad, and that's
It
kind
is.
of how I saw with the Barbie movie too, is like
Mhm.
they really I don't know if demonize is the right word, but like being just a mom is not okay. Like you I don't know. They just like make
Mhm.
it seem like
Yeah,
you have
where's ordinary Barbie?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to see the movie. I liked it. I thought it was funny,
It was funny.
but
It was very pretty.
it was yeah. If you like pink, it's really pretty. I don't
And
like
I
pink.
like the music too. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
get
the
like
music was
it's awesome.
hilarious.
I love Lizzo.
There you go. There you go. And then who was it? Ken, who played Ken?
Bling.
Ryan Gosling. Yes, he was hysterical.
Yeah.
Um, but I do see that perspective too. Like your perspective makes sense. Like I've heard both sides, and I'm just like, yeah, I think there's a problem here, and we're not actually like really like one movie is not going to solve the problem.
No. And
You know?
honestly, I don't feel like movies should solve the problem.
Mm-mm.
Can't
No, I agree. No,
movie.
but people acted like that it did. That it was like this is gonna solve it. It's like I'm
I know.
sorry, this did not solve world hunger. Like But it's still good. It was entertaining, and that's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
see your point. I like your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me a long time to get over my ego, so I like to
You're
share.
like, yes, as you should. I think everyone has an ego, whether they think they do or they don't. Yes, you do. Like,
Yeah.
I think people have to kind of figure out, like, why am I doing this one thing? Why am I trying to, I don't know, carry the entire world on my shoulders when I really don't have to do that,
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
just for people to, I guess, acknowledge you or to give you praise. Like, those aren't good reasons to do it. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because you're
Exactly.
like, yes, this makes me feel confident. This is something that I really, truly believe in, and that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like those are good reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that we've gone off
I
on
know.
our little
Right. I'm
rabbit
going
trip,
on like a bajillion tangents.
love it. I love it. That's what makes this interesting. Okay, so you kind of talked about your company a little bit and like how you ended up like working there in 2021. You do like marketing and that kind of thing, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, now the oil industry, I know nothing about it. The energy, I know nothing. I've tried to listen to videos and I'm like, I still don't know what it is at all. But like, I feel like there are definitely some misconceptions about that field. And how do you guys, like, just for you yourself or digital wildcatters, like, how do you all handle that criticism and that like misconceptions?
I think honestly, it's a little bit hard in what we do because
Mhm.
we aren't really exposed to people who criticize. Because
Good.
we're in a bubble in Houston, Texas.
Right.
Um,
It's Houston. We have lots of oil and stuff.
yeah, no, but I think that is our mission, is to like educate the world and really
Mhm.
beat those misconceptions, because as you know,
Yep.
there are people out there who aren't educated, and they're policymakers, which makes it even
Mm-hmm.
harder. So
Mm-hmm.
um it's a hard question, but I
Yeah.
think what we do is really provide resources so
Mm-hmm.
people can get different perspectives and learn and actually educate themselves, instead of just listening to um, you know, the news or wherever they get their information, Greta Thunberg, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, there's really smart people in the industry, and it's one of the most technical industries in the world. Like, it is
Mm-hmm.
insane to me, the technology that's deployed, and it's not killing the earth. They
I
are
think that's a
actually,
big one that I've heard. And
I
I'm
would
like,
say
oh.
the tech industry is worse
Mm.
for the environment, for like
Yeah.
emissions they put off, than
Right.
oil and gases. I actually have a podcast called Energy 101.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm from Midland, so I do have like a base of oil and gas,
Yeah.
but I didn't really like educate myself on the whole industry. And so I started this podcast last year, and it's really just to help me learn
Mm.
from really smart people and be able to ask stupid questions, because I feel
Mm.
like I'm always asking Colin like the same questions over and over.
Right. He's
Um,
like, okay.
yeah, he's like, "You should know this by now." But it's a really good, if you ever want to listen, it's really,
Yeah.
I feel like it's easier to listen to than some of the boring technical stuff out there. That's one
Yes.
thing that the industry struggles with, is everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants to be super technical and tell you facts, but that's not going to solve the narrative issue. It's really
Mm-mm.
drawn by people's story, because if you look at the climate doomers, they're really pushing stories rather than facts.
Interesting.
So typically in the past, oil and gas have been really bad at telling their stories. So we try to help them tell their stories as best we can, and trying to humanize the industry, because it is really cool.
Yeah. Because, like, I know for myself, like, I looked a little bit into it just because I'm like, oh, I should probably, like, look this up before I do my podcast with Julie. I didn't have any idea what people were talking about. I'm like, this lingo, I'm like, I don't understand this. So I'm gonna have to go check out your your
Yeah.
podcast.
We don't let people use any language that we don't understand. We're like, excuse
Great.
me, can you please break that down one
Yeah.
more?
Give me a definition, please.
I'm a kindergartner, now teach me.
Exactly. Like, if you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to talk to me like you would a 5-year-old,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I'll get it.
yeah. I'll send you a really good podcast we did. He he really did talk to us like he was talking to his like 3-year-olds. It's a good episode.
Okay, yes, please send it to me.
Yeah. And we always end every single episode asking the guest like what's the biggest misconception and why.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting. It's a good
I'm gonna
podcast.
have to, yes, please send it to me because I am intrigued.
Yeah.
So, well, Julie, thanks for sharing all of that. We're not done yet. I have one more question. It's gonna be my last one, I promise. But if you had the attention of the entire world for 5 minutes, what would you want them to know?
I would probably say be kind. That's it. Be kind and do jujitsu.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, probably something about empathy and just yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably
I like
just be
that.
nice to people.
Yes, be nice to people because you know what? You don't know what other people are going through. We don't know other people's lives or like what's happening. And so, yeah, I want to say that to all the people who have road rage.
Yes. I
Right?
don't understand people who have road rage, and I don't know if you
I
have
don't get
road
it.
rage, but like I don't get it. Like I'm just
I don't get it.
like maybe I'm the reason they have road rage, but I don't know. I'm just like it's not that big of a deal. We're all gonna get where we're going safely if you chill out.
Yes, if you just, you know what? If they cut you off, it is what it is, you know?
It's fine. It's really not the end of the world.
I mean, I've been working on my road rage. I've been working on it. I don't like honk at people anymore because, you know, I don't want to get shot or something.
Yeah,
Um,
can't do that here.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I used to like honk a little, and then people were like, "Tina, stop that!" Like, I think it was
Can't
people
do that
from
in
from
Texas.
people from the downtown location were like, "Satina, we're not going to your funeral if you get killed because you honked your horn at someone." And I was like, "Really? Thanks, guys." Okay, so
Fucking
I've
you.
yeah, they talked some sense into me, and I was like, okay, I will stop with that. Am I still going to like yell in my car with the windows rolled up? Yes, I
Yeah.
can, but that's not hurting anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm working on it. Okay, I like it. Be kind and do jujitsu. I hope you all got that. If you haven't gotten anything else from this podcast today, be kind and do jujitsu. Also, go follow Julie. I will have her Instagram linked down below. I'll have Digital Wildcatters Instagram. Is there anything else? Y'all have a website or anything?
We
Or
do
like,
have
what's the
a website.
best way to like contact you?
digitalwildcatters.com. We have
Okay,
a lot of podcasts. Energy 101 is my favorite. So,
that will definitely be linked down below. Go
yes,
check that out too.
yes.
But yeah, Julie, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
hanging out with
you.
me.
This was so
This
fun.
this was so fun. I was like, if I don't cut it off now, we won't stop talking.
No, I don't think I would. I'm sorry. I feel like I went
No,
on Jillian rants and
I
down
love it.
my talking. I'm trying to get better at like speaking because I feel like I go in roller coasters.
But in this podcast, it's great because I want people to do that.
Good. Okay.
Like it makes it interesting and it's good for my non-diagnosed ADHD brain because I'm telling you, I literally go from like I'll talk about one subject and then all of a sudden I'm over here and if I'm talking to Ryan goes, "Wait, how did you get there?" You're not following?
Why aren't you following?
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, dude. It's not that hard. But anyway, thank you, Julie. I will definitely put all of that stuff in the description for y'all. And if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should do that. And go listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. It's actually out everywhere now, including Apple. They finally were like, yeah, sure. We'll have you.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Also, definitely subscribe so you can help Satina get a job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Help me get a job, guys. That'd be great. All right. And this is where I do my awkward goodbye.
Oh
Thanks,
my, okay.
everyone.
So
Wait,
it's like,
tell me.
sorry. It's like the worst thing in the world saying bye on a podcast. We
Okay,
always
don't
end
do it.
ours. We go, bye.
Okay, so we'll do something different. What do I say?
Okay, bye. I don't know.
Okay, bye. Hey, thank you all for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I had so much fun talking with Julie. She's so easy to talk to. It was super fun. It was my first time ever doing a like split screen video, so that was fun. I didn't know what I was doing, and then Riverside made it really easy, so hey, shout out to Riverside. No, it's not sponsored, but just saying. So anyway, if you could hit that subscribe button, that like button, please leave a review, let me know, follow me on Instagram, follow Julie on Instagram, so you can follow her around as well. All right, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and see you all next Wednesday for the next episode. Bye!